What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we're going to be talking about a post that I was actually tagged on Reddit by Lucio the Monk because, well, it was a really interesting poll that he put up and thing that we could do to potentially make these events even better. So let's go over it here today. First off, we're going to jump in game and talk about exactly what we're talking about, and then we're going to jump over to the Reddit post and see exactly what the idea is. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's jump right into it. So right now, as it stands, when we have these events like the childhood dreams and we have these new rewards to chase at ridiculously high prices, it makes you wish you could kind of chase that dream, right? It kind of feels that way. However, it is nice. We've already talked about how these systems are so much better now. They've changed them. It's huge for free-to-play players, all that fun stuff. However, I think there's one thing that's lacking, and that's the people who don't want to purchase any of these lower tier things, and the only thing they want to chase are the higher tier things. Now, of course, you know there is a thing called universal crystal shards. However, especially as free to play, you can only get what, 100 of them a month. If you spend $10 a month, you get an extra 100. That's still not a lot over the course of the months. I mean, I guess it does kind of make sure you do all these little side quests and make sure you cash them all in and you don't forget about them. I've been forgetting about them constantly lately, and it feels really, really bad. All these little events like this help because, again, you want to do this. You need to do all these just to get all your rewards. Do this 5 times every single month, and then you go to your mailbox and you have a ton of extra rewards, which is awesome. Hey, we actually hit the Delacium copy too. Awesome. However, there's a downside here, and I want to put a second part of this here. What if, kind of like we have in Fantasy Factory, where you can buy Aurora stars? So as you guys know, you can take the honey stars and you can buy up, where are they, Aurora stars that can be saved and used for future events. Well, what if they just added something like that to either Imp's Adventure or Childhood Dreams, which kind of brings me to this Reddit post that we're going to go over right now. So this is the topic. Should excess currency of Childhood Dreams be convertible to universal crystals after the event? Not necessarily 1-to-1, of course. It looks like 10-to-1 is what they'd recommend. The first thing I said when I read that title line, I'm like, okay, yeah, it needs to be some sort of conversion, just like how honey stars go to Aurora stars. I'll vote yes on this too, and I think a lot of people will. I don't think they should be convertible at the end of the event. I think what you should have to do is it should be one of the purchase options, and maybe only one of the packs every single time. Like maybe you spend 500 currency and it gives you 100 universal crystal shards. Something like that. If you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, like add another button down here that lets you just, like maybe only make it purchasable once per campaign event or something, but like lets you convert them into the resources you want. And he goes into more detail. They said basically, I mean, it's a great idea, but why would they just give that to us? I mean, this is kind of true. Lucio comes back with a good point. The thought process of this can end up in so many places. I don't think they will just give it to you again, and I don't think it's going to be like a capless, because that would be the same thing as like at the end of a Fantasy Factory event, all the honey stars would just convert over at a rate. I don't think they're going to do it like that. I think they're going to make it, if they ever did it, they'd make it in tiers that you could actually unlock stuff, because it says in the current system you can get the deification item chest free to play if you wait for long enough, like 25 months. Yeah, because like I said, you can get like 100 a month for free to play, and you get about 2,500. So yeah, about 25 months it takes, unless you somehow get some universal crystal shards, because they do put them in some of the bigger events now in the random gem boxes and stuff. But even if that's half, like in 1 year you could get one of the deific boxes. It's kind of crazy. It says paying for a monthly card, which puts us out of the free to play zone, reduces it by half, which again is not much. One chest in a year. That sounds like stuff we used to talk about back in like 2019 Idle Heroes. Like you'd get one pay-to-win artifact a year, which is just stupid. What if instead of waiting for so long to get one single chest, you could wait maybe 3 to 6 months? I kind of had this same topic back when Transcendence Heroes came out. And over time, we did get more resources, which helped it out. Because even for free to play, you can build like every other Transcendence hero if you want. But I don't know if they'd actually implement it on this. TLDR, it comes down to what will net DH games more money, which they're not going to let you do it if that's the case. P.S. They can also think about capping the amount of crystals one can accumulate, which again, it kind of just brings me back into the game here to talk about. I think if they added like one package that you could purchase 1 or 2 times, that'd be cool. Because I think what's really neat is they did lower this to 2,000. So it would be really cool if they put a box down here that was for 500 of the event currency, which is pretty much the difference of what the old chest used to cost and what you can get completely free to play versus that. And then you could maybe get 50 to 100 extra universal crystal shards every single month. If it's 100, that again, it cuts it in half, so it's not bad. And then it turns it into, if you're a monthly card holder, it only takes you like 6 months to save up to that 5,000 mark. Really, really interesting. The only other thing I could even think about is something with like Imp's Adventure, since they're always on the same week. The only thing I could think here is that they would let you save dice. But I don't even think that would be as good of a strat. Well, it kind of would be, because if you could save dice, you would get much further. And it's not like there's any super premium loot on here. Like, it's a 9-star hero chest. That's not anything super great. It's a light and dark hero chest. Is really not anything great. Back when this came out, those 2 chests were actually very, very valuable. You weren't wanting to build more light and dark heroes. You needed more food. Nowadays, you don't need either of those things. Honestly, this is probably the best chest just because it has Cloud Island materials. Next to that is probably this chest just because it's a 5-star hero chest and it helps out early game accounts or people who are building more tenant copies or something like that. But in its current state, these rewards aren't premium whatsoever. So it would be cool if they let you maybe save dice up just like you do normally with like heroic scrolls. It's kind of weird that you got like these pickaxes that just kind of die and don't do anything. I completely missed event here. You have these actual like other event currencies that looks like I might have missed spending. I don't know if these are special events. There's a whole event I just forgot to spend them on this account. And that'd be cool if these could maybe carry over, or if, you know, not. Maybe just let the dice pool up. Like, just make dice universal. Let us continue saving them up. Look, I even have celebration coupons from the swap event at New Year I haven't spent. Like, there's a lot of these that I've missed throughout the years, okay? And it would be cool if there was a way to use them in some way, shape, or form. Now, again, I don't think they'd let you convert these directly into it. If you missed it, you just missed it. But things like sweet lollipops, things like dice, I think it might be time to let all these 3 types of resources, dice, sweet lollipops, and metal pickaxes, potentially carry over from event to event. So if you want to play the long game, you want to save things up, you can potentially do it. You guys can see how many times I've completely missed these events, right? I'm sure I'm not the only one. If somehow these could carry over to future events, that would probably be an even better solution than potentially having us have an option to convert to more universal crystal shards. I don't know. What would your recommendation be to make this better? I'm almost leaning more towards letting dice, pickaxes, and lollipops carry over from event to event instead of having a way to cash in campaign event loot for universal crystal shards, because then it's like you can just use those dice on the event you want. They're giving you an additional 50 of that resource every time anyway. I don't know. It's interesting. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. I'm leaning more towards liking the Imp's Adventure way. And once we kind of come to a consensus, I kind of want to present this to DH Games and be like, hey, maybe you should do this. It's a dead game mode anyway. Let's make it better. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. I'll see you guys next time.